Welcome or welcome back to my art space. In today's video, I'm gonna paint an autumn spread, and for that I'm gonna use and test a budget-friendly watercolor set that I got last year and that I haven't had the chance to try it out yet. My personal opinion is that you don't need expensive art supplies to start your art journey. Or if you're used to using other mediums like wash or acrylics and you want to explore watercolors, then you don't need to spend that much to explore your curiosity. This set cost me €3.40, which I think is the cheapest watercolor set that I ever bought. And as I always do, I first swatch the colors and then make some basic mixes to see what the colors offer. The colors in the set are really pretty and interesting, but I do feel like two of the greens are very similar, and I would have preferred an earth type of colors to have a more complete range of colors. And I also noticed that it's hard to activate the watercolor, but honestly that is something that I was expecting because it's common in these type of low-cost materials. Now that I have swatched the colors, I'm gonna mix them to try and get other colors that are not in the set, like oranges or warm greens and browns that I need to use for my autumn spread painting. This is a good way to test the set and see how the watercolors mix and what other colors I can get from them, and also a good way to practice some color theory. The brown color was a little hard to get, and that's why I say like an earth color is always necessary in any set, but eventually with some green and red I found a mix that I could use for the autumn spread. I'm starting off the autumn spread with some autumn leaves. And as you can see in the mixing tray, I already mixed the orange and the brown that I will need because I want the colors to blend. So I have to have the colors ready to apply before the paper dries completely. To help the colors blend better, I use a clean and somewhat wet brush to mix the colors before they dry on the paper. I continue painting the rest of the leaves with the same technique, by adding colors and then blending them before they dry. I also paint some random brown spots here and there to add texture and to give a more natural look to the autumn leaves. By the way, if you would like to paint along with me, I have a printable outline of this spread on my store, completely free, because I want to encourage you to start your art journey, so you can print it at home and try it for yourself. For the acorn, I use the same technique of adding the colors while the paper is still wet. However, I paint one half first and then I let it dry before I paint the other one, because I don't want those colors to mix together. As you can see, I also painted the first half of the mushroom in the bottom part of the paper, because it uses the same colors as the acorn. And so while the first half of the acorn was drying, I painted the first half of the mushroom. And when these parts are dry, then I will paint their corresponding second parts. This is something that I do to save time when I need to wait for the paper to dry before continue painting, especially when I use the same colors in different areas of the paper. That is something that you can keep in mind while you're painting to help you save some time as well. Next, on the autumn spread, I will paint another autumn leaf, but this time I want to paint it in the early stages of autumn, when the leaves are still green, but the warm colors are starting to show up. Last year, I also did an autumn painting of leaves covering the ground, and for that I used the popular watercolor technique of negative painting. So if you're interested in learning that technique, you can check that video with the link in the description below. By now, I am kind of impressed of how good this spread is looking so far. So if you have been thinking of getting a budget-friendly watercolor set for yourself or as a gift for someone with the coming holidays, then I would highly suggest you do so because I have enjoyed using this one so far. And there are plenty of options that you can find in any art store or online as well. However, I do have to point out that because these are low-cost materials, sometimes they don't perform as well as the expensive ones. Because for example here, it was hard for me to do a wet on dry technique and then put on top of it another layer of colors to create the volume of the teapot. So that is something that you have to keep in mind when you purchase one of these budget-friendly sets. However, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do if you want to explore this technique or you just want to paint something simple and easy to enjoy your time. I think that what's really important is that you take the first step and start with whatever you can, and then later on you can upgrade if you want to. And now to finish the autumn spread, I will paint a pumpkin because what is autumn without pumpkins? Last year I also painted a pumpkin mug, and in that time I painted it with wash, and it's still one of my favorite paintings so far. So if you want to watch that, I also left the link in the description of this video. For this pumpkin, I'm following the same technique of wet on wet, and I'm adding and blending the colors while the paper is still wet. I am working from light to dark, so I'm starting with the yellow, then continue with the orange, and then the red, and then the brown. And to help me concentrate only on painting, I already mixed the orange and the brown to have it ready when I need it. This budget-friendly watercolor set really surprised me because I found the colors to be vibrant and I was able to mix all the other colors that I use for this autumn spread. So I hope that this helps you feel inspired to take the first step in your art journey. And if you like this video, drop me a comment below and subscribe to my channel for more watercolor paintings.